No? Okay, so let's get started. I'm audible, right, to all of you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, so let's get started. So, so very first question which we all should have, and that is what is Terraform, correct? So let's have some sort of discussions here. If you have some knowledge prior to it, we can share with each other. So that is how we grow, and then we learn. So anyone would like to comment on it? What is Terraform? What do you think? What is Terraform? All of you?
Basically, Terraform, we do automate cloud resources, Kubernetes resources to save some time instead of creating manually all the, for example, storage account or else resource group or any namespace or anything. Instead of creating multiple, I mean, instead of creating manually, and for example, if I want to create a virtual machines, hundreds of virtual machine, so you don't need to create manually, log into the Azure portal. Straight away, you can just create your infrastructure code using Terraform, and there you can deploy your resources, and you can at a time resource hundreds of uh, virtual machines or any kind of
Yeah,
resources.
right. Yeah. So the one thing which we say, one of the keyword which we are using for Terraform is using Terraform, we are coding. Yes. So today I'm going to show you and I'm going to teach you how to code. But coding for what? Coding for infrastructure. Yes. So using Terraform, we are going to code. We are going to write a code for infrastructure. Now, this domain, the one which we say coding for the infrastructure, this we also call it infrastructure as a code. That means whatever you do in your environment, for each and everything, we should be having code for it. Infrastructure as a code. So now, okay, yeah, that is the Terraform. So I got to know Terraform is a tool. Using that, we are going to code for infrastructure. But now, next questions which I'm having in my mind is what's there in infrastructure? In infra, what is there? Anyone would like to comment on it? What's there on infrastructure?
Infrastructure contains compute, storage, network.
Yeah. So when I look at the infrastructure, the definition of the infrastructure could be, quite long. But I would like to show you few tools actually, and that is, I mean, few platform, not tools, mind it. Uh, Terraform providers, and you must check it out this page only. You should not go anywhere else except. So this is the, yeah. Look at this. What's there in infrastructure? So when I say what you can, I mean, automate, what kind of automation you can make it, where you can make it, all this stuff. So coding for what? Coding for infrastructure, and infrastructure means what? Infrastructure means AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Kubernetes, Alibaba Cloud, Oracle, and you can keep scrolling down. These all are counting in the infrastructure. So how many infrastructure platforms you have? 3,578. That means what I'm trying to say here is you can write a code for all this. You see that listed here using Terraform. So what's there in the infrastructure? In the infrastructure, you have plenty of platforms. I would not say tool, platforms, cloud platforms, container platforms, all these platforms. And if you want, on these platforms only, you are running your applications, and you can automate using Terraform. Are you getting it, all of you?
Yes.
So some of the popular one which you see that it's in front of you, we have AWS, which is very popular. This is the first supported providers, we call it in Terraform, is written. Azure is the second one, and then followed by a few more you have. So these are the major one which we have. I must ask you to spend some time later on this place and then get comfortable. Okay, so that is the first thing. So what is Terraform and what's there in the infrastructure? Now, third questions you may have it. Okay, fine. I understand that using Terraform, I can write a code for infra, and in infra we have so many platforms. Just look at this number, and if you come tomorrow, you will have some numbers increase here. So every day some support is getting added actually. But the question you should ask me, why do we need it? Why do we need it? I mean, why we need Terraform for for writing a code for infrastructure, correct? So let's understand in a simple way, why do we need it? So let's say you want to automate, uh, let's say Azure. We have Azure, and then you have next one, you have AWS, and then next one GitHub, let's say Kubernetes. So these are the three providers you have right now. It can be many other. Now let's say you want to automate. So in Azure, if I ask you to automate, what you need to do? Tell me what you need to do.
We need Azure provider. We need to pass Azure provider credentials information, and also we need Azure account as well.
Yeah, that's access. Access by default, so you'll get it. But I'm talking the automation. Let's say you are manually go to Azure, and then you work on Azure to create a VMs, create a load balancer, create a network, create a storage account, a storage services, load balancer services, DNS services, all these things you do that, right? So you do
Yes.
manually. But if I ask you, hey, automate all these things, so then what you will do?
Template.
Ah, so you will say, Rajesh, we can use ARM, correct now? All of you, those who wants to automate Azure, yeah, ARM. And this is the Azure Resource Manager, and you will use it. You will learn this one, and here you can write a YAML file or JSON file. So yes, you have one service which is called Azure ARM, sorry, and then you can write a YAML or JSON. Agree with me, all of you?
Yeah.
Okay, so now next question is, if I ask you to, okay, go ahead and automate all the process on AWS. So do you know any services which we have on AWS too? Using that you can automate all this stuff. All of you.
Is it AWS Cloud Formation?
So yes, it's a cloud formation. Yeah. So AWS cloud formation.
Oh, just to let you know, our company, right, we are using more for Azure, but we are getting into the AWS soon.
Yeah. So here cloud formation, you will use it in case of AWS. Again, here you need to learn some YAML, but different specification. Now, if I ask you, hey, automate everything on the Kubernetes front, whatever you do on Kubernetes side, you automate. So probably you will create Helm chart, something like that, if you have worked on it, or something like that. So here, the important thing is, I'm not saying like, okay, which platform you go and use it. The fundamental is very simple. Fundamental is, if you want to, we have how many providers we have, look at it. 3000 plus providers we have again. So the fundamental is, if you want to automate, let's say if you're using 10 provider at least in your infrastructure. So just think about it. You need to learn 10 different languages, correct now? That is important. So you need to learn 10 different languages, 10 different specifications, language specifications, 10 different way to troubleshoot, you know, and 10 different 10 different, you can say format of languages also. So sometime you will use YAML, sometime JSON, sometime XML, sometime shell scripting, sometime anything else also. So if you see that here, you are let's say working on the infrastructure, and you need to learn everything. So you need to learn ARM specifications also, cloud formation specifications also, Helm specifications also. And if you're using 10, that means you have to learn 10. Now, one important thing is, this ARM, will it work on the AWS? No. This cloud formation, will it work on the Azure? No. So that means whatever you are learning, it's specific to the one platform. So here the challenge is, you need to learn many language specifications. You need to learn many different techniques. One specification will not work for the other specifications, and this will become a complex. Correct, all of you? Are you getting my points?
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah. So what about if I say, hey, you don't need to learn all these specification, no multiple languages, no multiple specifications, no multiple techniques, all this thing. Just you need to learn only one language, only one. And this language, the one which I'm going to teach you, you using this language, you can write a code for Azure also. You can write a code for AWS also. You can write code for the Kubernetes and all 3000 plus providers which you have. Then is superb, right? You will feel good, right? So, and that's where you can save time, your energy, and many things you can do in your other time. So here, if I say why we need Terraform, why we need Terraform. So Terraform we need it because in nowadays in infra, we have so many providers, platform I'm saying, so many language specifications for automations, so many coding standard. Okay, one is not working for others, not you working for others means other platform which I'm saying, and so on. So these are some of the regions which we have, you know. So we want the consistent change management across all the stuff. So many regions which we have. So we are going for Terraform. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah. So very simple way. And these are some of the high level region. So now next question, after knowing what is Terraform and why do we need it, then you will say, Rajesh, how come it's possible? How basically it works? Architecture. How it works basically. How Terraform can help us to automate all this, things. I mean, one language, and it can work for everywhere. How come it is possible? So before me stating that topic, let me conclude this one. So guys, Terraform, yes, it's a tool. It's a tool basically. I would not say platform is a tool, and using that you can code for infrastructure, all the tools which I mentioned. Please spend some time here only. And then basically they have a this product has come from the company called HashiCorp. Okay, this is one of the fastest growing organization in California, and they don't have only one product, which is Terraform. In fact, all of their products, I'm using it, and all of their products is great actually. So HashiCorp is one of the organization you must spend few minutes of your time here. Okay. Yeah. So this is their website. You can see that, and I would suggest you to spend some time here on the product side as well. So you see that here, so many products they have. Terraform and Packer. This is for the infrastructure. The one we are learning Terraform. For security problems, we have Vault and Boundary. For networking, we have a console. For applications, Nomad, Waypoint, Vagrant. There are few more products, but they have not listed it, like Senetel and all. Many products are recently they introduced, so they have not updated these pages actually, I guess. So yeah, this is a product from the HashiCorp. Now, this product is written in Golang. Yes. So now you know the answer. Uh, One thing, the moment I say go, that means you will not ask me, Rajesh, where can I run Terraform, because Golang is a platform independent, right? That means you can run it on Windows, you can run it on Linux, you can run it on Mac, anywhere. So Terraform, you can run it anywhere, right? All of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So now next thing is also they have a multiple releases actually. So in this session, we have one release which is called community release, and then another one which we have enterprise release, and then we have a cloud release also. Okay. So community release, basically the one which I'm teaching you is covering most of the time. So it's a command line utility. It's a CLI. It's a tool basically. Okay, which I'll be using for helping you to understand the Terraform. Now, enterprise one is which is basically website, is like web applications. Cloud is also web application actually. So those who wants to install the enterprise one, some organizations they want the hosted solution within their premises only. So they can go for premises, I mean enterprise. Now, some of you, some of the projects, let's say if they're okay for cloud, then you can go for the cloud also. So you should check this also, Terraform Cloud, this website. Okay, spend some time. You can register a free accounts and spend some time here and get get comfortable with it, this ecosystem. So in these sessions, most of the time we'll be focusing on this one. Okay, so now yes, Terraform Beach for the coding for infrastructure. This is from the company which is called HashiCorp, written in Golang. You have a releases and the version. Which version? So the version which I'm not able to recall it. Why? Because every week, every second week, we have our releases actually. Okay. So the best way we should ask Terraform itself, hey, what is your version? So if I go to this place and here the version which is 1.60. So you see last month we had a 1.57 and like that. So this is the latest version which you have 1.60. So guys, are you okay with the uh, uh, introduction of Terraform? Any questions you have, any doubts or something?
Okay, Rajesh, but if maybe you can just paste all the URLs in the chat.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I can see.
I'll share with you. Okay, so this is done. So this is a Terraform we are using for coding for all of our infrastructure related work, and I'll teach you how to write a code and all and so on. Now the question which we are discussing is like how it works basically. So how one particular code will work for everything, how it can work. So guys, one of the things if you notice here, uh, if you go to this page and you have 3000 plus options, one of the things which you notice here when it comes for automations, let's say if you're using CloudFormation or ARM or whatever it is, one thing you might be seeing, all this platform is supported with API. Agree with me, all of you? That means if you want to automate AWS, API, Azure, API, Google Cloud, API, Kubernetes, API server, Alibaba, API, all these things, API. So we have an API for everything. Agree with me, all of you?
Yep.
Yeah. Now this is you. Okay, this is you. And if you want to automate everything, you will make an API call to this different endpoints of AWS, Azure, and all. The only challenge what you have is this AWS, the whatever that you are sending an API request, it is in a different format, different specification. Azure will be different specifications. Google Cloud will be in different specification, and Kubernetes is also in different specification. That is a point of irritations. Like I need to learn, if you're using 10 different platforms, I need to learn 10 different specifications. And I'm really not happy with this approach. Can we write one specifications and this one coding standard, one coding specifications? I write once, and this whatever I write, it will get understood by this API. Can it be possible? And when I say one API is multiple API, for each and everything is multiple API. Is it possible? So let's try to understand that part. So here you have Azure, here you have AWS, here you have Kubernetes, or let's say use GitHub. And this is you. You are the person who's going to write a code for infrastructure. So now let's say you write some code and which is your desire actually. So guys, nowadays we write a code in what specifications? All of you? Nowadays we write a code in what specifications?
Mostly in YAML.
Yeah. So see guys, when old days when you wanted to do something coding for anything as such, then you were writing the code in compile language like Java and C++. But at the time, very less functionality were available, so we were writing the code for everything. Then after the compile language, you got interpreted language. Interpreted language means Python and PHP. So software development become very fast. Nowadays, everything is developed almost. Most of the things are developed. What you need to do, you just need to declare it, and then you just need to declare it, and the things are ready. It's like that. So declarative languages which become very popular over the period of time, like XML, and then nowadays we have YAML or JSON, right? So YAML is a very popular, form of expressing, declaring your desire to any API based applications nowadays. But JSON is the one which is good for consuming. So all the API consume JSON. So conversion from the YAML to JSON is very simple. So YAML, you write it, easy to write compared to JSON, and then tools uses the API uses the JSON. So that is something which we have. Now, here I'm not going to teach you how to write a YAML or JSON. Yes. So here Terraform is saying, hey, you need to write one code. Okay, you need to write this code, and in this code only you need to declare all of your desire. For example, what is your desire? In, let's say, if I ask you what can be your basic desire from Azure, can you please tell me what is your desire? All of you. Azure, what can be your desire?
Managing infrastructure.
Your desire. Let's say you see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Have logged into Azure. I'll share the account with you in some time. What is my desire? So my desire is to create resources. What resources? Virtual machines, web app, SQL database, function, key vault, factory, and these all my design. Thousands of service resources we have on Azure, or let me show you AWS also. I think I have logged in already. So this is the AWS. What is your desire? So again, resources. What resources? You have everything in front of you. Yeah, these are some of the resources like a VM. So here, what I'm trying to say. So here you should not perform your desire. You should not declare your desire in YAML or JSON, but Terraform is saying, hey, write your desire, whichever you want, in HCL. Any idea what is HCL? Any guess also? Any guess also what is HCL?
HashiCorp language.
Yes, you got it. So Terraform is saying, hey, I don't want you to write in anything else but HCL, HashiCorp configuration language, or sometimes we call it HSL also, HashiCorp specification language. Both are same. Okay, so then you'll say, Rajesh, you are giving me trouble here. Earlier, I was frustrated with YAML, JSON, XML, shell scripting, curl, PHP, Python, Java, and remind it, this is how you do the API programming, right? Mind it, these all tools are supported API, and how do you automate it? So how can I make API call? Which language? And if you see that any ways you can make a call. So there's any language is it's not coming quickly. Okay, any language. You know Python API call, Java API call, shell scripting API call, simplest form curl API call, YAML API call, JSON API call. Correct now? All of you agree with me?
Mhm. Yeah.
So, but here Terraform is saying, hey, you need to learn JSON actually. Sorry, SCL. Then if you're thinking, okay, it's a trouble again, then I must tell you here, HCL is easy to learn, easy to write, easy to test, easy to debug, easy to extend compared to other language specifications. Other languages, YAML, all this stuff. So yes, you will write in SCL, that is very easy to learn. But guys, this SCL, the code which you write is not understood by Azure, AWS, and GitHub. No, it's not understood. So what to do now? What to do? Think about this architecture. Then that is where the Terraform said, I will design one tool which will accept this one. So this is a one tool they got designed, Terraform. So Terraform is what? Don't complicate your understanding. Terraform is just executables. Okay, just executables. Terraform is just executable. Will you remember that, all of you? Just executable. You can download this executable in your machine, in your Windows machine, Linux machine, Mac machine, and use it. So now you write a code and you will send this code to Terraform. Now Terraform, you will send it, but you will also say what you want with this code. So basically when you make an API call, what are the things you want to do that? Can you please tell me, all of you? API call.
Yeah.
When you
We will create a resource out of the API code.
no, okay, maybe I'm confusing you. So I'm saying API, I mean HTTP verb actually. This is how you make it API call, right? Correct, no? This is the one. Do you remember? All of you?
Yes.
Yeah. So either you say, hey, get it, or post it, or put it, or delete it. This is not complete one. I think this is the one. Yeah. So you make API call and you say, hey, this is what you want. What do you want? So either post it, get it, put it, patches, and delete it. If you say in the programming world, CRUD, we call it create, read, update, and delete. Agree with me, all of you? So you will say, hey, this is my code. Hey, Terraform, this is my desire. So I want 3 VMs of AWS, 3 VMs of Azure, and GitHub 2 repository created. So this is my desire, and go ahead and create it. So this is the create it. Go ahead and update it, and go ahead and delete it. So this is something you have to tell, your desire you have to tell, correct? No? Agree with me, all of you?
Yes.
So now the problem with the Terraform is Terraform has understood your requirement. This is what you want. But the problem is Terraform understood your requirement, but AWS API, this is the API of AWS, this is Azure API, and this is the GitHub API. This API don't understand this code. The code which you have in SCL, this API don't understand. So what do we do in this case? What do we do in this case? Any idea, any guesses? Any idea, any guesses? So in this case, I need to convert this code to API supported code. And that is where Terraform has introduced the concept of provider. So there is one provider which I was showing this page, right? Please spend some time. So there's one provider for Azure. There's one provider for AWS. And there's one provider for GitHub. Now you'll say, Rajesh, what is a provider then? So again, don't complicate your understanding here. These providers are nothing but executables. Yes, executables. These all are executables. Okay. Are you understanding, all of you? So what is happening actually? See the flow, look at my screen. What is happening is very simple one. You are writing only one code, only one specifications, only one coding standard, and that is called SCL, which is easy to write, easy to learn, easy to test, easy to debug, easy to extend. And this code you send it to Terraform and saying that, hey, Terraform, I want to create, these are the resources, or update or delete. And this Terraform will segregate this code and send it to this different providers. Let's say this code should be sent to Azure, this code should be sent to AWS, this code should be sent to GitHub. So this Terraform will aggregate this and send to executables, and this will make a API supported call to AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. And when you make a call, write call, what you get it. When you make a write call, what you get it. So when you make a write call to API, what you get it. All of you.
We will get the product what we intended to execute it.
Okay. I say response, you get it.
Okay.
The response. So when I make a API call, anyways, whichever supported way, I get the response from API. And the response for API will be in which format? Anyone have idea?
Like 200 status, like if it is
No, yeah, that is a format. Which format? Response from API.
In JSON format.
Yes, we all know that. So response, you make it to AWS or Azure or Google Cloud or any provider which you have here, you will get in a JSON format. So here, what will happen? So now here, API will be sending the response to provider, this provider, and Azure, AWS will be sending the response. Let me change the color. Azure will be sending to response. Google, GitHub is sending the response, and this response will be stored in one file. You know what this file is called? This is of course JSON file will be there, JSON file. But this file, we call it state file. Okay, state file. So the question was how it works. Did you get an answer, all of you?
yes, sir.
So guys, you are going to do nothing but this is you are going to write a code which I'll teach you. And in that code, one code, you will specify whatever you want from AWS, Azure, and GitHub, or many other providers. This code you send it to Terraform stating create or update. This we call it apply. Okay, in Terraform, apply. And this you call it a delete, destroy. Okay, apply and destroy. So you say, hey, these are the resources I want to create it, apply, update it, apply, destroy it, delete it, destroy it. Terraform will segregate this code and send it to the provider. This is nothing but executable again. Okay, we'll make a call to APIs and API response will be stored in the state file. And this is how we all works, Terraform. So what do you need to do? You have to find out the steps for this. So first thing, you need to install the Terraform. This is the first thing. Second thing, you have to download the providers. Okay. Third thing, you need to write a code. Then fourth thing, you have to say apply. And then fifth thing, you have to see the state file. So let me write a step for each of this stuff. So first thing you will write, install the Terraform. Second thing you will download the providers. I'll teach you how to do that. Third thing you'll write a code. Fourth thing you will apply it. Fifth thing you will do the checking that sources. All of you understood the flow?
Yes, right.
Okay, so this is providers and so on. So now this is the whole things we will be doing. So once we do one step number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then we'll focus on the only coding part, how to improve our coding and stuff like that. Okay, so this is how a Terraform works. So Terraform, we have a code which you have in SCL. Terraform is executable. We have a providers which is also executable. It is from the AWS and Azure and Google Cloud and so on.
So these APIs are managed by those providers, not by the Terraform.
Of course, you see that here. Terraform is just executable, is nothing else, and they need one concept, we call it a providers. This is also executable, just to convert this SCL into right format, which is supported by this API server and this API and API like that. So this is AWS, this is Azure, this is Google, this is GitHub or something.
My question is, if in case if we are using a Terraform which is quite an old version, and we are trying to use an API of a latest version, is there any issue happens in compatibility or any issue of running executing through the API? Or are we really need to be very much keen on what versions we are running on this API and Terraform? Is there any dependency between those things?
So basically, see, this is a very dynamic world now, and we need to understand. So this way, so here this is a AWS, okay, and 2022, let's say, they have released their API. So they have released the API, and API is supporting, let's say, 10 fields, okay. So for example, let's say if you go for, I'm just showing you just for demo purpose. This is the VM I'm creating manually, and you have a 10 fields, let's say here, these are the parameters you give it. So at that time when the Terraform provider was developed, then they are also supporting 10 fields. Okay, so this code you have written in 2022, last year. Now, AWS also API, they keep upgrading it every 1 month or something like that. So this is this year today. And again, they have AWS, again, same thing. They will be having, this is the V1 API. So there'll be V2. Okay, the endpoint will be same, by the way. And now they are supporting 11 parameters. So again, Terraform also has released and then say, hey, they're support providers supporting 11. Now your question is, hey, I am using the old code with new AWS. Will it work or not? So it will throw you some error because depends on that this one field which got added, which is required or optional. If it is optional, no error. If it is required, then you have to maintain, you have to upgrade the code. That is how it works, right? Did you get an answer for this?
Yes, Rajesh. So,
Yeah.
so before we executing, we have to make sure that we are in a right version, supported version, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's yeah. So if you go for this documents, I must always show you here. And let's say you want Azure and go to documentation here. Okay. Now, one thing I don't know whether you are able to see that or not. This one. So the latest version which you have right now, this one for Azure ARM providers. But you can go older version also. Here you have. Every 1 week we have a release actually. This is like that. Okay, more questions, all of you?
So the code we we write for these executions. Do we need to be changing those code very frequently whenever an update happens in these APIs?
I mean, as long as the platform is changing, you have to change. If platform is not changing, you no need to change. Simple, because it's all depends on this, because we are coding for infra, all depends on Azure and AWS. So accordingly, we have to change. For example, last month only, I mean, few months before, not last month exactly, we got the new UI. I'm not on AWS. I'm not used to it, but you have to adjust with it like that. Got it?
Okay.
So you cannot say AWS, hey, AWS, can you go back to the older version? We cannot say like that. So yes, we have to upgrade our code itself. So here we need to understand a few things. When you say compatibility, first thing, code, which version of Terraform you have, which version of provider you have, which version of API you have, and then you decide the code. Okay, so this code which you are writing it should be compatible with the Terraform, because in Terraform we have a 1 version, 2 version, 3 version, 4 version. Provider is again executable. Let me show you what this image. Provider is also executable. So this is also, you have 1 version, 2 version, 3, and every week we have a release. Not major changes will happen. Mind it, it's not like every week they are adding too many features. No, some of the bug fixes, security enhancement, and so on. AWS also, we have a more than 500-600 release in a year actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the thing. So you have to keep upgrading it, your code, to compatible with right Terraform, right providers, right AWS API. So this has to be in sync. Now let's say the code which you are using old, then you have to have a Terraform old, provider old, and make sure that this code what you have supported by AWS itself. So it should be in sync actually. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say?
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah. So more questions, guys, all of you? Okay. So now this was the questions. This was the question, like how it works. I hope now you understood this. So what are we going to do? So here, yes, step number 1, we are going to install Terraform. Step number 2, we are going to install provider. Okay. Step number 3, we are going to look at the image. 1 is done, 2 is done, write a code. And step number 4, run the code, run a code. Step number 5, validate the state file. And this stuff you have to run in the loop, write a code, run a code, validate a code, and so on. So these are the things which I'm going to show you as part of demo in few minutes. Are you okay with it, all of you?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So before that, let me introduce you some of the places where we get the notes and all. So all the notes I'll be sharing at this place. So let me share with you. Terraform. I think it's October. Day 1. Notes. Okay. And what I will do, I'll just copy paste just like this and put it in the code here, publish it. And then whenever I want to share it, just like that, for the each day we'll have one notes and you will go and access this notes. Like I'll manage this one. Now, next question is how to get lab access. So this we will use Azure. I'll give it to you in few minutes. Next question is we'll have a 2 assignments daily. So the concept is I'll have a discussion first, okay, followed by I'll show you the demo, and demo followed by you will do the lab. Lab is something like you need to replicate me, whatever I did, okay, and then followed by there'll be 2 assignment on a daily basis, which you will do it. So now the question is how do we submit an assignment? So I'll give you access to DevOpsSchool where you can submit an assignment, and based on the assignment which you have submitted will take you to the certifications. Okay, certifications, this will be training certifications, not official certifications, and so on. So this will be the R flow for each topic entire day. Make sense, all of you? Okay, so let's do this. So first thing I'm going to teach you how to install Terraform. So do we have any tutorial for it? Though you don't need tutorials for it for installing Terraform, but still for formalities, this tutorial you can use it for Terraform installations and configurations here. Okay, so I'll share with you this one. Now, first you have to download this Terraform executable. I believe all of you are using Windows. If it is Linux also, that is okay. And then typically what I do, I download it and keep it at one locations. Uh, Tools is a location under C is my favorite locations basically. So everything I keep it under the tools, and wherever I will locate these Terraform files, I will add into the path environment variables. Now, this is the screenshot for the path environment variable. You can check it out. Some people have complained in the past saying that they cannot access environment variable. So in that case, if you're not able to access the environment variable, then you can use command line for setting up the path. So this will work with the older version of Windows, new version of Windows. And if you're looking for the PowerShell, this is the way you can do that. Here you have a installation instruction for Ubuntu, straightforward. This is the installation instruction for RHEL and CentOS. And if you want to do manually also, here you have. So these are the stuff which you have to do that. So let's start downloading first. So you see that here Mac, Windows, Linux, FreeBSD, and so on. In this Windows, go for AMD 64-bit. Don't go for this one. Your architecture is AMD 64-bit. So click on it. And I download it. Now I'll go to one location which I said C drives and tools. This is my favorite locations. And inside that only I install all the DevOps tools basically. So here is a Terraform I created manually this location. You can create it. This executable, which is from the last session, I will delete this. Gone. Now, whichever I got it here, download it, paste it, and then I'll extract it. Done. Now I'll delete this zip file, and I don't like so many directories and all subdirectory. I move this one up, and that's all. So it was nothing installation as such, actually just download, copy and use it. Simple. You can directly use in this directory also, but I want to use it from different locations also. So what I'll do, copy this one, go to the environment variable here, and there's one path. Okay, click on edit, and you see here it's already added for me somewhere. Here it is. So if it is yours will not be there, so you can add new like this and done. And click OK, OK, and done. Now after that, you can validate through command line whether it's installed or not. So just write Terraform, and if you are getting command not found not, that means if you're getting this one, that means you have installed the Terraform. You want to check the version of Terraform version, and it's the most recent one, 1.6.0. And this is how you can install the Terraform. Did you understand that, all of you? Any questions, any doubts?
For this one, to get this one, I already extract the file here.
Copy the path and go to the environment variable. Are you able to access the environment variable? env, click on the start menu, env.
Our environment.
Yes.
We're not able to do that.
In the start menu, just type env, you will get the environment.
No, we can't access that. It's blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that case,
It will show this one.
yeah, yeah. So what you could do, use in the command line full path of it. If you look at the chat, I given you the my path actually, just like that your path. Wherever you use Terraform command, you can use the full path.
So
Something like this.
I mean, where should I enter the from? I can't get this window. Where to get this window?
That you don't have access. Just now someone said, I guess.
Yeah.
So you have to go to the command line, go to the CMD.
Line.
Yeah, and give the full path. Just like if you refer the chat, I give you the pattern. Oh, wait a second. You are running in the different location.
Oh, because I follow this one. I can change back. Oops.
I think someone has shared the command with the screenshot, but I must tell you, Lee, you are in a system 2 location. That's dangerous actually.
Oh yeah,
So
I know. I haven't to that location.
any locations rather than system location, you can run the full command and it should be okay for it.
I need.
You need to give full path for it. Full path for it.
Okay. No.
Path must be wrong, I guess. Check that. Only you can check that path.
Yeah, the dash.
Just
Yeah, correct.
I think that is not extracted properly. That should be in terraform.exe, is it?
This is the file, and I unzip.
okay. I got this issues. This I think your download is not right file actually. You downloaded for Darwin. It was for meant for AMD. Just re-download this one more time. Delete all these files, I guess. Delete AMD. Should be delete all this thing, and from the HashiCorp also. And then especially you download the AMD 64-bit as the image you see that right there.
This one, right?
Yeah, AMD 64-bit.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you download from the wrong page. Lina.
Yeah, sorry. Which one?
Because it keep downloading the Darwin one, right?
Yeah, I download from here.
No, it's a Mac actually. We have to go for Windows.
Sorry. Yeah, I got it already. Sorry. Yeah, I got it. I tried it. Yes, yeah. Yeah, I think got it. And then I feel also something right. Okay. So yeah. So that's it. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
How to install provider? How to install provider? So guys, yes, you can download it also and then copy at a certain locations and it will work. But that is something which we never did it actually, and we will not do that ever. Why? because you can install providers, the one which we are going to use it, using code. Yes, that is something which you have to understand this. So now next question you will ask, okay, code, this is the same code you are talking about here also, right? Writing a code. The same code I'm talking about here, right? Yes, I'm talking the same code. So you can write a code and then using code itself, you can download the providers, Terraform providers. Okay, by the way, we call it Terraform providers, but sometimes also call it a plugins also. Please remember that. So plugins and providers almost same, except few fundamental differences, which we don't need to get into that right now. So then you will say, Rajesh, I store Java code in .java. I store Python code in .python. So how do we store Terraform code? How to store Terraform code? This will be the first question. You will have it, correct? So answer is any file name .tf. That means when you are writing a code, the file name you can keep it anything, but the ending extension should be .tf. Now, one thing I just noticed while you are looking at your desktop, I mean laptop, I saw that some of you may not have the extensions visible. For example, if you see, if you go to my directory, which is Terraform here, so can you tell me what is the extension which you can see on this file?
TXT.
TXT. But I think some of you have disabled this option. So I don't want you to get confused with it. Struggling, you are creating text file, but thinking TF file, something like that. So how do you see the extensions of the file? So you can go ahead and click view, show, and you see file name extension. I disable it, gone. I enable it, and you got it. So this will save some of your time, troubleshooting time, and then you will understand that your TF file is really TF file or text file. Okay, so that is how do we store the Terraform code? Are you okay with it, all of you?
Yes.
Okay, now guys, I must tell you to understand one more thing. So there is one directory, okay, and in that directory you have multiple files. So file 1.tf, we have file 2.tf, file 3.tf. That means what I'm trying to say here is you have multiple files of Terraform in same directory. So now mind it, very simple thing. In a directory, if you have all the code written in one file, please remember that all the code written in one file or all the code is written and in a multiple different file, still it is one project. Okay, so all Terraform code merged into one during apply destroy. That means single code, if you want to run it in one directory, you cannot do that. Whole projects you can run it. So whether your code is in one file, it's okay. The code is in multiple files, that's also okay. still it is considered as a one project, one code. Will you remember that, all of you, this statement? All of you?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So after that, the fundamental question was, how do we install providers? How do we download providers? So we understood that we have to write a code, that is okay. Then we also understood, okay, in a directory, you write a one code or multiple files, it's still one project. But how do you write, how do you get a code which will help me to download the provider? Okay, how do we do that? And that is where you have to go and ask provider. And I'm sure each one of you might have spent a lot of time here, at least not hell means few minutes of time here, AWS, Azure, and all stuff like that. So why I'm saying you to spend the time on their official website, because every month there are some changes are there. So if you are accessing someone's personal notes or something, which will get outdated in no time. So get a habit of referring the official documents only. So today I want to download few providers. One is Azure, one is AWS, one is GitHub. So these are the three providers I want to download. So if I want to download this provider, I will ask provider only, hey provider, can you please tell me what code I will use it. So you can be downloaded, means provider can be downloaded. So first questions I'll ask Azure. And here you have some good details. Actually, please spend some time here. Okay. And then I will see that here there's a button, huge provider. So guys, this button will be available for every providers which you have, 3000 providers. This button will be available. Now, if I click here, I get this code, and this code which you see here in front of you is SCL code, HashiCorp configuration language. So this is the code you get it. Now, which is required code? Only this one. That means this code is more than needed for installing and downloading the latest Azure provider that is needed. But sometime, I think it's a good, like you discuss about the, you know, Terraform versioning, provider versioning, and all this stuff. So if you want to lock some version for the provider, so Terraform is one block. Inside that one section you have for locking that provider version. So required provider, Azure RM, source, and version. That means you're saying your code will run only with this provider. So you're locking. It's not important, it's optional by the way, but here you are specifying it. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yeah. So now something similar questions I will ask AWS also and GitHub also. But before that, I want to run this command. So now the question is, let me store this code here. So this is my folder. Okay. And I'm creating one project here, empty directory, project one. And I just said you want to store this code in one file. This I name it provider itself. Okay. So that way I know that file name can be anything, but I'm keeping it a TF file. Type is TF file here. So by that way, I know that all the providers will be in one file. I don't have to struggle for it. Saved it. Done. Now what to do? So guys, go ahead and command line, and then the question you should ask, how to download providers. So the answer is Terraform init. Guys, one command for many purposes. Here in this purpose, in this demo, you will get that your providers downloaded. If you have some changes also, addition also, same command you will run it. So now Kush, can I run this in front of you? So just Terraform init. That's all. Init means initializing. So now Azure provider is being downloaded and you see it's successfully initialized actually. So where is the provider basically? So if you see that directory, project directory, have you noticed something, all of you?
Yeah.
So when you run the init, I had only one file providers.tf. This directory got introduced. This lock files will be locking your Terraform providers. And if you want to understand, look at this. Inside the project directory, there'll be one directory will be created, which will be hidden basically. Mind it, it'll be hidden for you. But for me, it's visible. Why? Because I click here, show hidden items. So there'll be one directory, which is the .terraform. And inside that providers, this is the website, vendor, Azure ARM, version, folder for supporting and executable. Let me show you. Here it is. I just said provider is also an executable only. That's all. So I downloaded the provider. Are you okay with it, all of you? Hello, are you okay with it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Rajesh, I
So
got one
Yes.
question, right? Before that, if we want to upgrade the version for the provider, right, we just run the initiate command and also change the code to for the version only, right?
yeah, that's all. This is maximum needed. This is for locking the version.
Yeah, means that if I want to upgrade, I just change to for something. Let's say we got another version 3.8. So we just change in the code 3.8 and then we run the command initiate again, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Every time you change the anything in the provider specifications, you have to run the init command. So whether it's in the first time you are downloading or upgrade, you are doing it. So you have to do that init.
But this one, if we are using local PC, but if we putting this thing into our repository in Azure DevOps, right? How do we run that?
So we don't push these executables in the repository. We just store the Terraform code in the repository. And the place where you will run that most probably build servers and all, there you will keep the Terraform and run this in it there in that those machine through automations.
Hmm.
It's a one-time activity in build servers as well. But sometime if you have a let's say if you're using cloud technology like a container technology and all, then you can take the image which has these providers already downloaded and committed. So it's one-time activity.
Okay.
Okay, so now I wanted to get the AWS, though we'll use very limited way AWS because our focus is on Azure. But still I want to download and GitHub also. So same way I will do, I'll go to providers. I'll ask AWS, hey, how can I download this? So they gave me the code and I will directly put it up this code for I'm opening up the Notepad++. and this code and put it up. That's all. And now I will run this init one more time. So one provider is already downloaded. Second providers will download. So guys, here we have some errors. Can you please tell me what is errors here? Can you please read all of you?
Duplicate required provider configuration.
So here what it says, duplicate required provider configuration. So that means if I look at my code here, here if you see that this is the section in the code. So this is the section in the code, you can say like that, block, not section, block, Terraform block, provider block. So here Terraform says, hey, you can have a multiple provider block like Azure RM, provider AWS, you can have it multiple. But here you cannot have required providers 2 times. That means duplicate. That is what message is coming if you see that. Here, correct now? So how do we fix it? So I'll just copy this code to somewhere here. Okay. And delete this code, not required anymore. And done. So, and save it. So now there is a block Terraform inside the block required providers S. So you can have multiple providers here, versions, and then here and here. Are you comfortable, all of you?
Yeah.
So here I'm storing this code also. So init you have to run it again and again whenever you change this provider specifications, and then Terraform init one more time. So the one provider which is already downloaded will not be downloaded again. So the one which is new only will be downloaded. Done. Now can you check this? So here you can go to this folder, providers, registry, HashiCorp, AWS. So now, did you get an idea how do we download the providers, all of you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, look at my screen, all of you. So every time if I modify the nodes, I'll give it to you like this. Sorry, my bad. This is the one. And this is the code which I have tried in front of you, which I'm putting in the code section and update it. Okay. So now you have to refresh all the time this day1.txt and whatever I tried. So this is the installations you tried already. Step yes.
I open
And
it. It consists of this one, right?
yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and then execute the file from. I have to go back to my
Command line.
command line again. Right? From the this one. Here. Here. Okay, here is it. Use. Wrong command.
I think you don't have to provide again that C directory, right? So you're already there in the C directory, Terraform.
Yeah, but the file is in here, C Terraform PRG.
CD
but
to PRJ1. Then
Yeah.
you type the Terraform init.
Put ls command.
Can you make the font style little bigger because it's very small? Can't see it actually.
Oh, sorry.
No, the problem is your code is not in the C tools. That's the installer. Your code is
Oh,
inside the Terraform PRJ. You are
oh,
inside the
it,
wrong.
CD
it
to
has to be.
PRJ.
It has to
Yeah.
be in the same as here, is it? Oh, okay, okay.
I'll tell you the one techniques. Can you go to that folder? Yeah. Just no. It's okay.
Uh-huh.
Just click on the bar. Click on the bar. Select the bar. Yeah. And just type CMD. CMD. Enter.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Enter. Yeah. Here it is. You are in the right. Okay. You did not. You have to do inside a PRJ1. Then you will get into that.
Oh,
You go
okay.
inside a PRJ1 and type CMD. It will take you to the path. Okay, like this, you can open up any other executables also, CMD, PowerShell, Git quickly.
But this,
Anbar, yes, can I move the project folder somewhere else after Terraform init executed? If you move the entire folder, that's fine. That will work, no problem, because after all, it's just a collections of files and folders.
okay, so now I need to
Terraform init command.
is it this way? I don't know. It has, this file has to be in the same like the one we downloaded. Is it? Is it correct?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I've created, because I saw you just now created in a desktop. So I thought it's a different it is in a different place.
Yeah.
So I created here. Okay, right.
Escape.
So it's done.
Try
Init,
command
Terraform init.
Terraform init.
Terraform init. Terraform.
It's not recognized.
Pinsun, have you set the path for the C1? Because you are changing the file, right? So your path should be C tools Terraform, Terraform or something. So go to your system, right? Then see your path. Is it in the correct folder tools from tools?
Tool my system. Oh, okay. You're allowed to change.
Then go to environment.
environment.
Just type
from the
environment.
search, right? Then you type environment.
Okay.
Yep, AD environment, system environment.
Ah, yeah, this one I missed out. Okay.
Put your path. Click on the path. Click on the path.
Click on the
Click on the
path.
path. Yep, that
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
And then edit. And then you click new. And then put your your path tools/Terraform. I think you need to have a capital T because this one is sometimes case sensitive. And then your the Terraform.exe.
Sorry, what?
Go to your folder there, the Terraform.exe, that executable file.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, yep, that one.
But this one is capital T, is okay. Okay.
Then you change to T, small letter.
Okay. Right.
Yep. Key and then click OK also. The bottom one, okay. Then try again from that one.
Did I set correctly?
Is it got S or not? Tools, your folder.
I think this.
Guys, I think most of you have done it. So can you please check the assignment in the, you have to write a response in your own words, whatever you can recollect from the discussions which we had so far and demo, and then think of some of the use cases where you can use the Terraform effectively. You have to just visualize automations and all, and then respond it in the chat section. So there are 4 questions, and you can put this all 4 question in the one comments or 4 comments under the same post downside. Okay.
I didn't get that second question, Rajay. So use cases mean you mean like so what are the scenarios we can execute or else like the provider's example?